July 21st, 2014.
Venturing into strange new worlds has been at the core of what Star Trek has been about since its inception. Sometimes, those strange new worlds aren't quite what you think they'll be. And in this episode, we'll ask, what the f***? And really venture where no one has gone before. At least on Star Trek. Buffy, Flash... This is Treknicity. Welcome to Treknicity, a Star Trek podcast, where we do the deep dive on all things Star Trek. I'm your host, Patrick Murray. With me are my co-hosts, Mike Raper, joining us from Greensboro, North Carolina, and Lars DeSenza, out in good old LA, California.
Hello.
Oi.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I break somebody already? I'm the one who always breaks. What? No. This isn't how this works. No.
I gotta
go back and do it again. That's it. You're fine.
Okay, let's start over. Welcome to Treknicity. No, we're not going to do that. In this episode, though, we're going to break down the Strange New Worlds. We're going to break down the Strange New episode. I can't talk today. Let me get this in front of my face so I can actually read it. We're going to break down the Strange New Worlds episode entitled Subspace Rhapsody and figure out just what the writers were thinking when they came up with this idea. We kind of know what they were thinking, but this is going to be the first of our WTF episodes, where we take an episode of Star Trek or maybe a couple episodes and we kind of make fun of why would you do this, but maybe also celebrate the episode. And we're doing that with Subspace Rhapsody.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because very, very much so, I love a good musical episode of an otherwise non-musical series. I go back in preparation for this. I went back to watch the season 6, episode 7 episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer entitled Once More with Feeling, which gets at least one reference in this episode, because that was the inspiration for literally, I think, every show that has a musical episode. It was inspired by Buffy because it was that awesome.
I'm just hoping that Glee wasn't inspired by Buffy. That would bother.
No, Glee. Yeah, Glee is Glee.
Although, to be fair, I never watched the show. I only am aware of it through popular culture, but still.
Same here.
Yeah, we were talking offline about this, and I really want to say that this, to me, is probably the most imaginative, if not the most imaginative episode of Star Trek from any series or production in the entire franchise. I mean, we've had an enormous range portrayed in everything. We've seen, we've seen a lot of it here in Strange New Worlds itself, but this is quite literally something that Star Trek had never done before. It had pushed a little bit into bringing performances into episodes and whatnot. We've seen it in TNG a lot too, but this is
even saw it in the original series a little.
Yeah, but this was the first time that the performance was the production, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. Unless you don't have a lot to add to this.
Mike's just going
because it's like we're having to do this episode.
I'm just gonna I think I'm just going to program the censor button off for time.
Nope. I promise to keep it PG. I hated it. And don't get me wrong. Now, all of you who are musical fans, I do like a good musical. I really do. Les Mis is one of my favorites. Cats, Hamilton, like good musicals, I really do.
Shall we break into some Hamilton right now?
Please
I can
don't.
do
Go for it. But this just did not work for me. The musical numbers, the quality of them was good. I particularly liked Uhura's number. It just, to me, it was like, don't do this with my Star Trek. Do not do this. It is a science fiction. To me, it's a science fiction. It's a very philosophical thinking show, and it's don't do this to it. Like I said, I appreciate the performances they did, but I was like, don't do this to my show.
Well,
Now, for the four of you who are listening who hate me, go ahead, fire off that hate mail.
oh,
We're good. We can handle it.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
it's show@treknicity.com. Attention, Mike.
Yes, you suck.
To be fair, though, at least they did it properly, and this is similar to Buffy. They found an in-universe explanation for why they were singing. In this case, they were trying to use a subspace fold to bump subspace communication. They fire some music in, specifically the song "Everything Goes," into it and create a quantum improbability field, which shifts them into a quantum state where they are basically functioning as a musical. They even have discussions about they have to fulfill how they have to follow they're going to be following the rules of musicals, and it tends to be emotional moments, and you tend to say things, which another parallel with Buffy, they tend to sing their emotional states and say things that they wouldn't normally say, which allows fast exposition and allows a lot of the things that are kind of below the surface to spill over the top. Similar premise to the Buffy episode. And of course, somehow they mention a quantum state that is involving bunnies, which is the Buffy reference.
Oh, okay. I was just saying,
yeah, if you go back, they start to sing the song. They have a theory in that episode, and then Anya says, "I have a theory. It could be bunnies." Nobody says anything. Then she breaks into her own little rock number about how terrible bunnies are. It's an entire thing. And if you guys watched it, and I know I found it was on Disney, so it's easy to watch. It's worth it just for the insanity of what it is. So performances are not nearly as good as the Strange New Worlds episode, but yeah, it's fun. But
yeah, I mean, I guess I have seen musical episodes done in other shows. Like if you watch that 70s show, trying to watch Red Foreman sing "Happy Together" is painful.
Oh.
he just can't pull it off. But the one that I kept thinking of with this that I felt like really kind of did it better was the episode of Scrubs called "My Musical," where they do sing everything, but that's all that they do. There's no dance numbers. There's no, it's just the show is all spoken. The words are all done as a song.
Yeah.
And within a show like that worked for me. It's like I can appreciate the skill and the quality of the songs. It just was like, no, not in a Star Trek show. Please don't do that.
I think one thing that I really enjoyed about this, other than the fact that it was such a detour from what we've seen in past episodes of Star Trek period, is the fact that it really got to highlight the non-acting talents of some of the crew, or some of the cast, sorry. Celia Gooding is obviously a wonderful singer. She gets the best
we'll get there when we get there.
Right. I'm just saying she gets the best number of the entire episode. And then you also have Christina Chong, who she herself is a recording artist, and she's very talented. And the fact is, I mean, she still gets, despite the fact that her number wasn't as good, she still does a really fantastic job with it. And it's also, I mean, like you can tell, especially in the ensemble pieces that where they're involved, that they are, they're showing up everybody else. They're light years ahead of where everybody else is, but everybody else still does a really good job. Even the actor who plays Dr. Mbanga, I'm not going to butcher his name because I cannot for the life of me pronounce his name, and I know I'm going to get shit for it.
We'll just say Babs and move on.
Yeah. Okay. So even Babs does a passable job. Yeah. I mean, they've obviously for obvious reasons, since that's not his strong suit, they don't have him doing complete numbers. But where they slotted him in, he did a very respectable job.
Yeah.
And for me, that was really good. It didn't matter that it was so silly. I mean, of course it was silly. I mean, it's no less silly than having characters from the animated Lower Decks show up as live action characters for an episode. I mean, come on, they're just literally, in the most, I guess, literal sense, as far as a television production goes, they were exploring strange new worlds.
Yeah. And at least they didn't techno-babble Sabotage by the Beastie Boys in.
No, because we all know that is classical music, okay?
Yes, it is.
And you can't do classical during a musical.
Okay. So let's go through the songs, and I'm going to jump to, and we got the soundtrack listed here. We're going to jump to number 2 first, because that's the first one, which is Status Report. Right after they pump Anything Goes into the subspace fold, it ripples back, and then Spock starts singing.
Yes.
And that's where, and basically this number, let's see how I described it. It's basically the first song, and they start singing about, hey, we're singing this number, and it's kind of a mid number. It's not anything special. It's mainly the first song. It's there for exposition so that everybody can figure out, oh no, we're singing. And it gives everybody a chance to get a little bit get their feet wet, and there's parts, and it's just a good starter. It's nothing special. It's nothing like, oh wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, with the opening bit, the opening theme being redone as a cappella.
We'll get that second one. We're talking about Status Report first.
Okay, right, but so it is a good first opening number. Like you said, it gives great exposition, and we also start. I mean, we see Ethan Peck. We figure out he's a baritone, and the thing is, it's just for me. You're seeing things that you wouldn't normally see. I mean, the very first time we saw Ethan Peck and Celia Gooding do any kind of musical is way back in episode 2 of season 1, where they're on the Comet, and they have to use music to resonate. And I thought it was really cool. So again, you got to see an extension of what is obviously a natural ability.
Yeah. Again, the premise is a little silly, but who cares? That's the fun part. Anything to add, Mike?
No, I agree. She's a very talented singer. Well, here's the thing, and again, for those of you listening, you want to write in your hate mail, go for it. I kept watching it, and I'm thinking, I loved a lot of the character moments here, the things that they're singing about. Like Luan is she's thinking about how she loves Lieutenant Kirk, and what do I do about that, and remembering that the one that she knew had died, and Spock and Nurse Ratchet are talking about their relationship and how that were, and Pike and Captain Patel are talking, they're talking about their relationships. Like, this would be so good if it was just a regular episode. These are serious moments that I would like to see played out in a serious way. But that's just me. I'm the old fuddy-duddy who doesn't, I don't like fun. So
I guess
apparently
not.
But let's talk about they cut to the opening credits, and we get the main theme pretty much a cappella.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I would believe it is all a cappella. Correct? Correct me
at
if
the
I'm
very
wrong.
end. At the very end, I think
so.
they brought in a little bit of the regular, and they didn't finish it with it. But yeah, for the pretty much a cappella, and it is spectacular.
It's very well done.
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot we can say, because it is what it is.
Right. I mean, for exactly for what it is, it was done very well.
Yeah, you can tell they put a lot of love into the episode. You got to give them credit for that.
Yeah. So next song looks like it is going to be Connect to Your Truth. we got Jim Kirk in, and he and Una are walking, and they're kind of make a little Gilbert and Sullivan reference, and they have a fun little number, just bouncing off each other. I don't know if there's a whole lot we can say about this because it's really just it's filler.
Well, it is. I mean, you obviously have a certain amount of time that you have to fill for an episode, and the thing is, you want to get in as many numbers as you can because that's obviously how it works. But again, you have a situation where you have like a real good character development moment, but it's done in the theme of the episode. Of course, with Rebecca Romaine, she is a very good singer in her own right, and Paul Wesley carries his own, and you get a good little exposition that helps with character development. I mean, sure, we don't need Jim Kirk to be developed anymore. I mean, we've had 50 plus years of it.
To be fair, most of that was Shatner, though.
Yeah, I get the feel that they put him in here because at some point he's going to start taking on more and more of a role.
Yeah,
and I think they want to get people used to that, which is fine. But it's clearly that this is their Captain Kirk, not the one that we know from the past.
So less of an asshole. Got it.
Yeah, very much so.
Or am I talking Shatner? I haven't figured out which.
Well,
hey, look,
he's Captain Kirk.
Yeah,
he's Captain Kirk before he's a captain. This is a guy that you've never seen before when he's a lieutenant.
Yep.
And to be fair, the 3 seasons of the original series and the animated series, there wasn't a lot of character development. In those shows.
No, I mean, probably the most character-driven episode of the original series, in my opinion, is I think it's the Annihilation Factor, and that's the one with the flying pancakes, where Kirk loses his brother.
It's his brother.
Yeah, which they get a nice scene. I won't even worry about it when we get there, but they have a nice scene together where they're answering and they're kind of bickering because they're both Lieutenant Kirk.
Yes, of course they are.
And it leads to a fun moment because it always does.
Yeah, and I could talk more and more about this, but I'm just going to go ahead and just say, please drag us on.
Keep us going this doesn't take 2 hours while 2 of us talk and Mike looks pissed that he has to do this episode.
He sits there and yes.
So that brings us to How Would That Feel, which is where La'an gets realizing the danger of what's happening, that her feelings for Kirk could come out in a bad way after they had that little timey-wimey situation.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Yeah. It is not my favorite. It is definitely not my favorite song, but Christina Chong just knocks it out of the park with what she's given.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a phenomenal crescendo in the chorus of that song that I really love. I mean, of course, like as soon as I found out that Christina Chong actually is a pop artist, I went and followed her on Spotify, and I love her music. And I'm just like, of course, they give her something that's emotional and raw and powerful. And again, as you said, she knocks it out of the park.
And we get some flashbacks, and we're able to see that part of the story again, even though the recap gave us just enough so we hadn't remembered that. It pays off, and it's really good. So, if nobody else has anything, we come to the next song, which is Private Conversation. Captain Batel call in the middle of it, finding out the Klingons are coming and everything is going to shit. They find out that Patel calls and wants to have a conversation. And of course, because there's some tension between them and Pike doesn't want to go on vacation, they start into a back and forth on the bridge in song, and they're singing about how it's supposed to be private until Uhura is kind enough to cut the transmission.
Yeah, this is what we call the awkward moment for him. Oh, it's like, please turn that off.
It was
I
glorious.
I enjoyed the song. I enjoyed that one pretty well because it was the one that to me felt almost most like it was a conversation.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was a lovers' quarrel that was done by song.
On the bridge in front of the entire crew.
Yeah. And look, to be, again, you think about the singing ability of Anson Mount and Melanie Scrofano. They did a wonderful job of carrying that tune. I mean, there are some people like me who couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. And
Yeah.
so I'm
Not
pleased. Yeah, well,
I'm the singer of this group.
Oh God, we're in trouble.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to sing us out.
And for those of you who are listening, if you're expecting a musical episode of Treknicity, no.
Yeah, I can't carry this all.
No.
Plus delays would really mess that up.
Yeah, no.
Now, if we all get in one place, we're going to work on that. If we can all get in one place, I'll write a musical episode.
Oh, see what you did. See
Two
what you
thirds of
did.
it will be horrible.
Yes. Wow.
Well, actually,
Wow.
maybe correction, a quarter because I'll sing 3/4 of it.
Yeah, see, that'll be our most viewed and lowest rated episode.
Hey, I'll take the views.
Take the views.
Screw the ratings.
Yes, that's the one we monetize.
Side note.
Just
By the
remember,
way,
guys.
side note. Yeah, go ahead.
Just remember, folks. If you have anything to say it there.
Yeah, please.
Right there. See all those.
Yeah.
If you got something good, something bad to say it right there.
Yeah, you can pop on Discord right now and say,
Yep.
You want that musical episode, or Mike's a jerk, or whatever you want. Go for it.
Or you want the Mike's Jerk musical episode. We can.
Sure,
I'm sure we could break 30 minutes or so singing about what a jerk you are.
Yeah, I would watch that.
I can still go that. Okay, so after that we get a little bit more where we get to the next song is going to be Keeping Secrets. Basically, Una basically takes La'an aside and says to talk about the fact that she's kind of awkward around Kirk and there's something going on. She gets a nice little B number. It's really good. You get it's interspersed with a lot of montage of the crew, and then they turn off the gravity to float for a little bit because it's a musical.
Of course. I do have a question. I want to know why there wasn't a musical number called "Why Are You Always on My Damn Ship?" And it would just be, it would be Anson Mount singing to Paul Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you always here?
Yeah, yeah. I have that same question.
Is this foreshadowing?
Of course. I had the same question. I enjoyed the Kirk episodes from the first couple of seasons, like the time travel one and all that. But I'm like, why don't you have a ship of your own?
I mean, next they're going to bring Scotty in. Oh, wait a minute. That's the next episode.
Yeah, that's the next episode. Wait, hang on.
Spoiler alert if you weren't paying attention. Of course, if you're watching this and you haven't seen season 2, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, like seriously. You can't hit us for spoilers on this one. I mean, come on.
You can, but we don't care.
Yeah, at this point.
At this point,
We
you've been warned.
Because we assume
Facts.
that you are watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds because it's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Quite possibly.
Okay, so we get through the B number. The next song is I'm Ready.
So, with this
Go ahead.
episode, there are a number of plot lines kind of coming together. Of course, we have the Subspace Fold, which is the creator of this entire series of events. We have Nurse Chapel, who is awaiting word on a fellowship to work with venerated scientist Dr. Corby, who we know from the original series ends up becoming her fiance. And then we also have La'an dealing with her feelings for Kirk.
Because who doesn't want to bang Kirk?
Right. And then we also have we have brain fart here. Yes,
Anson Mount's hair would like to bone Kirk, but oh well.
Yeah, Anson Mount's hair is epic. Okay,
It's its own character.
Yeah, Anson Mount's hair is its own character. It is. I mean,
Yeah, it needs
Johnny
a special
Bravo.
credit.
He is Captain Johnny Bravo. Okay, that's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry,
Except even cooler.
And then yeah, so there's oh sorry, then there's the Kirk and Una kind of subplot line of her kind of giving him or showing him the ropes of command. And
But
yeah.
he didn't show her his ropes.
Again,
It's Kirk.
folks,
If I can't make jokes about Kirk wanting
You
to
have complaints, you have complaints. They're right there.
right
so
there.
let's get to one of those threads in this. I'm ready. Basically, where Chapel basically after Spock whines like a little bitch, saying, "I'm surprised you didn't tell me." Being a logical little bitch.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. Like, why didn't you tell me? Because it's Nunya.
Yeah. Jess Bush is a nice, solid low alto. She's almost in tenor range. I think I could probably sing this in key. That's how low this number is. But it's a fun, jazzy number. And it's just we needed that good number, and it just kind of gives that little punch for Chapel to really just stand out.
Well, and it's also it's the second ensemble piece of the episode, which of course it takes place in whatever you'd call it, the rec room or rec area. On the ship, and
not 10 forward. Yeah.
And the thing is that you have it's a perfect opportunity to do something like this, and it's very good. I mean, pulled it off very well.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that one. Then we come to I'm the X, where we get Spock standing in engineering being all mopey because he just got basically dumped.
Yep, pretty much.
So he writes him. I think I said their ship name was Spackle. So yeah, this is the end of Spackle. Now this number's okay. But yeah, some of those low notes are low. I like them.
Yeah, he has a surprisingly baritone voice. I mean,
he
doesn't sound like that when he talks.
No, no, he does not.
Yeah, but he did a solid job with that. It's low on the on my liking scale because it's kind of a filler number. It's necessary to fill out that portion of the plot, but
yeah, it's the counterpoint to her number.
Yeah, and because this is an emotional moment, they got to sing it because musical rules. So we'll get on to the next one, which is Keep Us Connected. This is Uhura's showstopper number. She of course figures out the solution in this song, and it is absolutely definitely the best solo performance. It is one of the best numbers in this entire thing. Nichelle Nichols would be proud. Because Uhura from the one character we knew could sing from the original series has now brought to singing even better.
She was really good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard Nichelle Nichols at her best. I wonder if I would love to have heard her and Celia side by side singing. That would have been crazy. But we don't get that. But yeah, the legacy of Uhura as the most musical character is upheld with the best number, unquestioned.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is her solo piece. She just absolutely belts it out. There is no it's hard to think that there's actually another number that comes after this, and I mean, of course, and the next number is the grand finale.
So we are one. Let's talk about it. Unless you have anything else to say about Uhura.
Well,
I mean, I would say it's not just. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, may Nichelle Nichols. Sorry, not Rickles. Nichelle Nichols, may she rest in peace.
Indeed. I was just going to say with this one, and not only was it was to me the best performance, it was the best song to me. So this was kind of you're getting a twofer. It's the best written song, and it's also the best performed song in the episode, to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I agree with that. And that's like it checks a lot of boxes because one, it's a great song. Two, great singer, and three, it links directly to the plot of the episode. You know, she figures out what it takes or what it's going to take to get this, and then the next number is get them, putting the solution into practice.
Yep. Which is We Are One. It basically, the solution they have is basically they have to get everybody on the ship singing, and eventually that's not enough, so they end up getting the Klingons that show up singing, and pretty much there's got to be more people singing than that, and that's how they solve it. But it's all about working together, inspired by Uhura. So Celia gets solo at the beginning of this, and they just start putting in layers and layers and layers, and then they stop for a second as the Klingons show up and do a boy band pop number.
Yeah, that was
this
beautiful.
was the most WTF moment in a WTF episode.
Yeah, because if you especially if you watched Deep Space Nine, Klingon opera was a thing. To have Klingons actually singing was a thing. I was like, okay, they're going to do Klingon opera. Oh
no,
okay, sorry. I thought that instead you get
describe this one, Mike. I want to hear this one. I want to hear what you thought of this.
I kept thinking it's like the Klingons meet the Backstreet Boys.
It was gloriously terrible.
Oh yeah,
so awful.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So the thing is that the Klingons, I mean, they're beyond furious because they even like before they even show up, and the first time he talks to them, he mentions that that they're coming to take care of the cause of their dishonor, because of course they're all singing on the ship and they have no reason why. So they have they don't know what's going on until they show up and say, hey, whoa, we know how to fix it, man. And the thing is like as soon as they do show up and he's talking to them, immediately like the Klingon captain starts off talking like in the normal gruff, I'm angry Klingon, and then he stops, and almost like he realizes that he's not going to do what he needs to do until he sings it, and then it's like full on boy band,
auto-tuned as hell. It is wretchedly hilarious.
And fun fact, the most fun fact about that entire segment is that Klingon captain is played by none other than Bruce Horak himself. Hemmer the Man was the Klingon captain in that scene.
That is awesome.
That is amazing.
But then they get back to the song. Everybody else comes to the bridge so they can have the big finale number, and the ships are all spinning. The ships are all synchronized and spinning, and it's just ridiculous. Then it explodes in a beautiful thing, and that's it. They don't sing anymore. Except till the very, very end. They have a few more scenes to resolve a few things. Pike and Battelle settle what they're doing. Una and La'an kind of have their little conversation about Kirk. And then we cut to the end where Uhura's on the bridge and she's hailing somebody. And then she starts humming it and says, sorry, earworm.
Yeah, but
that's the episode.
Yeah, but all of everybody stopping at once and looking at her with that look of like deer in the headlights, like what? Like, oh, is it gonna start again? Like, oh no.
Yeah, it's the break that I think it's the break that we didn't know we needed, and maybe some of us didn't want, but it's just why not? Yeah, you're only going to get so many seasons, and you've only got so many episodes. Why just not go out there? Mm-hmm. And mind you, they've had episodes where they focused on music and not on Trek. I mean, DS9, they had how many episodes do they dedicate to Vic Fontaine and his bar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, again,
but this
is singing, Worf with his Klingon opera tapes, or times on Klingon ships where they would actually sing. We didn't know what they were singing because it was in Klingon, but just like they're a musical bunch. They like to sing. And that's what I was expecting to see here, was them actually sing like that. And I was like, oh no, it's the Backstreet Boys. Why
was
would
glorious.
you do that? The one race that actually sings, and you ruined it.
Oh, I think you're being too harsh on them. I think it was wonderful. Especially when you see the look on their face when they realize they can't do anything without doing it. You know? It's just like it's such a wonderful play.
Yeah, ultimately, yeah. And then then the end credits is basically just a basic medley. I didn't even get through it because I wasn't able to play it before. Of course, the autoplay tried to take me to the next episode, but nothing special. It's basically just some follow up. But yeah,
it was a filler piece that Tom Paulson, Kay Hanley had put together. But again, they did all the music for these numbers, and it was fun. I mean, it was a nice little "let's take us out" kind of thing. Speaking of taking us out,
okay. So now that we've gone over that big WTF, let us know what you think. Did we get it right, or did Mike really mess up on this one? Yeah, I'm just gonna make fun. I'm terrible. Yeah.
And if you have any WTF episodes of your own you would like us to do, like the aforementioned Operation Annihilate, which is surely a WTF episode, send it in. We'll do it.
Yeah, look, I was thinking about this. Now, now that you mentioned it, there is one thing I wanted to say, and that was we have currently on our roll sheet, we have 3 listed. We're this one, Sub Rosa, and and there's another one on the list. I don't remember exactly what it is at this point.
Is it Code of Honor?
No, that was
we are going to have to do Code of Honor.
We won't even talk about that one. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about it.
But now that I think about it, there are actually a lot of there's some other WTF episodes.
Oh sure.
Like most of season 1 of TNG, but also Operation Annihilate and
the Space Hippies.
And the Way to Eden. And then also let's not forget Spock's Brain.
Spock's Brain. Yeah.
So
all the shows have some WTF episodes in them.
Yes, they do.
This was just the most intentional fun one.
Oh, absolutely.
Of the bunch.
Like I think I almost think we need to add those old scientists to the WTF roster, because that one was another fun one that was just like.
Then I get to watch that again. That is possibly one of my favorites because you unleash Beckett and Mariner on the Enterprise. Enough said.
And I know that. Let's see. Here's the thing. I know that a lot of people think that one was silly. To me, it's not.
It was
because to me, it feels like it's not because it is. They are 2 existing shows. Yes, one's a cartoon and one isn't. But they are characters within that universe. So the crossover to me is just like a crossover from any other show. You had crossovers in DS9 and TNG, right? It's the exact same thing. It's just you've got characters who are cartoons who have to be played by their real life actors. So to me, that one wasn't.
And we find out they're really tall.
Yeah, they're really tall. They don't look a whole lot like their cartoon selves.
No, they don't.
So yeah, to me, that one wasn't silly. It was creative, but I didn't consider it silly. But that's just me. Again, fire away your comments. Tell me I'm wrong. Go for it.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll do that in the next episode we record. So
that's true.
Anyway,
you think you hate me now? Wait till next time.
Yeah, just wait longer. If you don't hate me now, just wait longer.
Exactly. So thank you for joining us here on Treknicity, where we do the deep dive on all things in the Star Trek multiverse. I'm your host, Patrick Murray. With me are Lars DeSenza and Mike Raper. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Treknicity.com, as well as visiting all of our socials listed here and here and here, or find us on your favorite podcast service such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. If you have any ideas for future episodes, feel free to email us at show@Treknicity.com or DM us any of the social media accounts, because that's what we do. And as always, rock out with your Spock out. See you next time.